Hi guys, hope you're well. Got over Christmas and New Year. I've been a bit poorly. I've been told I've got sky-high blood pressure or something, so I've got to get that sorted and on more pills. Anyway, not to worry. I don't know if you remember, I bought this little engine. I think it's an MB, it's a 2.5cc, I believe. That's my heater just come on. It's cold out here. I put it in a little boat you can see in the back of the picture there. A lovely little boat I bought off eBay, but it's very heavy. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, so I'm trying to lighten it a little bit, but it's very top heavy. But anyway, I had this engine running, and I bought new timing for it. If you remember, I bought a proper aircraft RC module for the ignition, because the one you get with it, honestly, I think I had two of them and they just don't work, and it's so frustrating when you're sitting there trying to start the engine with a bit of string. So anyway, I've got the little rev counter thing with it as well. So I think you remember I made up a pull start arrangement for it. This is a car OS 26, I believe, pull starter, because in a boat there's no room to put a bit of string and all that kind of thing. So I had to change the two flywheels, because this flywheel that goes on the back, that actually had the sensor on it for the hall sensor for the ignition. So I moved that round to the front, so we've got that on there now, and I can move that like probably 10mm around to change the timing if I want to, and it did make such a hell of a difference to the timing, which was good. And I had it revving to like 6,000, and I thought, well, that'd be all right, but it was still not. You know, you start out one day and it'll be fine, and then you start it up another day, and it weren't. So, you know, I thought to myself, I'll stick it in a boat and we'll see how it goes. So anyway, I've got it in the boat, got it all wired up, and I still couldn't really get it running properly. And I made a remote mixture screw, servo operated, so you can actually move the mixture screw, because it only seems to move a tiny little bit. I think it's the big downfall with this engine is the carburetor's not great. But anyway, put it in the boat. I got it running one day. I took it over to my lake where I run my power boats, and it's driving me nuts. Every time I put it in the water, it would just go pop, pop, you know, about 6 foot out and stop. No matter what I did, I tried everything, ignition and fuel and everything, you know. So I really got a bit disheartened with it, and I brought it home and stuck it on the shelf, and it's been there ever since, probably about 8 or 9 months. So as I'm kind of getting sort of into my boat, I still wanted to get this to run, you know. So I dug it out again, and I thought to myself, let's just see if I can improve how it runs. So what I did, I took it all apart, everything apart. Everything looked good. Cleaned it all up, couldn't really say anything looked wrong. But these rocker shafts, or these rockers, they were so loose. I mean, I've got a tiny little bit of play in them now, but honestly, they were like absolutely, they're going out to like about 10 degrees both ways, you know, horrendous things. So I bushed them. I drilled them out 2.5 because it's a 2mm hole, and I bushed them. So I've made little bronze bushes, pushed into the rockers, and then I made a hardened silver steel rocker shaft. So that limited a lot of, you know, movement in the top there. Because the trouble with these engines, I know they look nice and everything, but they're using all the sort of metal parts are kind of, or the white metal parts are all stainless steel, even right down to the bolts, which round off very easy, and it's a very soft sort of stainless steel. You know, get all grades, all different types of stainless steel. But what they're using at Stirlingkit or wherever this engine eliminates from. It's a very soft stainless steel. Now, you and I know, if you're running stainless steel, very soft, on soft brass, it's going to wear like hell. And that's kind of what's happening sort of with these rockers, and also the valve guides. There's no valve guides, it's just machined straight into the head. So I'm thinking of borrowing them out and making some proper valve guides. But anyway, get back to the story of what happened. Well, anyway, I put all the engine back together, and because I've taken all the cam out and everything, I had to retime it. Now, there's kind of nowhere on the web and nowhere kind of that I could find that could actually tell you how to time this model up and the valve timing. So, you know, I kept thinking, I knew kind of how it should be, but I said to a mate of mine, Steph, I said, look mate, I'm a bit stuck here, I can't get there's no marks on the engine or anything like that. I said, how do I get the valve timing right? So he said, well, get the top dead centre and you should have both valves just rocking. So both rockers are just rocking. So I timed it up like that. I must have done it about 50 times, both ways. I thought I had the cam in the wrong way. I'd done all this and that way. And the thing had no compression. And I couldn't work out what I was doing wrong. It just had no compression. It was, and yet if I took the head off and put my finger over the bore and turned it over, it was a pop. So I knew it wasn't the bore, it was something to do with the valves. So I thought to myself, all I've done is made like bushes, made it all a nice fit and everything like that. So in the end, I thought to myself, well, it's got to be something to do with the valves, because I've got the timing how I thought it was right and it still wouldn't run. So I took the valves out, and they'd been like hammering, they'd like raised up a burr on their head, where they'd been sort of hammering. And there wasn't a very good seat on them, so I've got a little bit of Solvo, like metal polish, and I let both valves in. Didn't take me long, let both valves in, put it all back together, and the compression was like, well, the best it's ever been on this engine. It hasn't got a lot, because I think it uses like a silicone O-ring for a piston ring or something like that, but it hasn't got a lot of compression, but it's just a lovely little engine when you get it, you know, eventually get it running right. So I thought, at last I've got compression. So I was right with the timing all along, but somehow, whatever had happened, the valves have suddenly decided that they're going to leak. So I lapped them all in, redone all the tappets and everything like that, and eventually I put it on the thing and it started like first go, and it sounds the best ever gone, you know, it's got a real pop on it. So while I was sort of messing about with the engine, I thought to myself, really, this engine's in that boat would need a clutch so it can sit in the water and tick over and not keep trying to drive the prop, because at low revs it's hardly got any power, but as soon as it sort of comes up a bit and the flywheel starts spinning, you've got like a little bit of power there. So I thought, well, maybe I can make a clutch so it comes in a bit higher up the rev range, so it can tick over freely, there's nothing stopping it, not like the propeller spin or anything like that. Then once it gets up to a bit of speed, the clutch engages, hopefully off we go. So I had to go at making one. So, you know, this is the original flywheel. Right, this is the original flywheel, and I had originally this. This was pushed in, this is a coupling out of a car, and it was kind of pushed into there, and the dry shaft, which is well, it ended up being about that long. I had to cut and shut it like I'm always doing. Anyway, I made this spigot to go in there. So this is a clutch spigot. You know, and again, this hole was out of true. So I made the spigot up and I pushed it in, but it was running out of true. So in the end, I had to like rough one out, pull it in there, lock it all up, and I had to machine it all true to the flywheel, which I've done, so it's all running nice now. So that was the spigot. So if you can see there's a flat on there, let's put this around. You can see there's a flat on there. Now I'll put this on there. Oh, wrong way around. That's a good fit now. Right. Right, so we've got a grub screw in there, as you can see that. So we'll do that up, 2mm. Okay, now that locks onto the flat. So you've got your, that's spinning, ouch. So, there's a taper on there which I turned on, a taper in the flywheel. This is just to hold the clutch, not really a flywheel, it's just to hold the clutch shoes. So, that goes on there. Then if I can find my nut, I made a stainless steel clutch nut to go on there. So you can do that up on there, about 10mm. Let's just give it a nip up. Yeah. Okay. So that's how far I've got with this motor. Now, by the way, I've just spilled petrol all over myself. Never mind. So, now the thing, I've made a new clutch bell. So this is a clutch bell, made out of like a lump of stainless. It's quite hard stainless as well. And I've done the slot in my lathe. And there's 2 ball races in there. And also, I made myself, because the engine's gone back further with the clutch and flywheel and everything on it, I've made myself that. It's another cut and shut car, UJ I would imagine, from way back when. But I made that the right size, so now we've got a much nicer like pickup. It's much freer. Before it was a bit of an angle, but now we've got a universal cut pin on there. It works, should work okay, and hopefully that fits in there all right. It's about that kind of angle, I would say, because with these you have to have the engine flat because of the tank and everything. But so that's what I've made so far. Right. So we've got the clutch goes over, or maybe I should put the clutch shoes in first, eh? Right. These are the clutch shoes. You have to move this little spring to get them over the pins. Then that clutch sits flat there. This is a clutch out of a little model car or something like that. So then we've got a spacer which just goes in there. I've got it round the right way, there's a bit of a taper on one side. Yeah. So that goes around that way. Then you slide your flywheel over the top. And that spins out on there. Got a little grub screw. This grub screw, not grub screw, socket head screw, that goes in there. There's a little thread in the end of my spigot. Which should go in there. Well, maybe I've got a little bit of a burr in there, I don't know. Let's try again. Okay, it's decided that it doesn't want to fit. Right, it's been in there like 100 times already, so we'll just give it one more go. If it don't go, I'll carry on without it. No, I think it wants deburring on the end, so anyway, we can leave that as it is. But as you can see, we've got the clutch all in there, and that spins on there, and then we're going to have that running down to the back. So it's quite a nice little thing. Right, now with these engines, there's a bit of a saga you have to go through. Now, let's put my camera down a bit. Right, it can fall out of my stand. Oh, it did. Let's try and get it back again. Okay, this is not going well. Right, let's see if I can lower it down a bit. Okay, so I'll just move this over so I can get a bit more. Right, with these engines, last year, or when I got this motor, you're supposed to fill it up here. There's a little plug in there, and you're supposed to fill the bottom up with oil, and that splash feeds the piston, ring, and there's quite a bit of blow by on it. So I put a pipe on it to make it easier to fill up, but it spits a bit of oil out of there. So what I've done, I've actually just put a pipe on it, and I've made another little pipe to go into this cam gear, because there's nothing lubricates that cam gear, and again it's brass on brass, and you can see the top of the lobes of the cam are starting to wear already. So hopefully that will go through there. So what you normally have to do before you sort of run these engines up is you need something like this, like a hypodermic, to fill the water up with. So, because it is water cooled, so yeah. So right, fill that up. Right, just see it overflow. Okay, that's that. And you've got your little fuel tank here. Again, you need your little hypodermic. It tends to get a bit of air in here. Right, so there's a bit of fuel in there. And we'll put a little bit of oil in there. Now, like I said to you, like I said to you before, this is like this is splash fed, the big end, crank, all that kind of stuff. But I found last year it was coming out the ball and kept oiling the plug up, and I couldn't get it to, you know, run that well. So I was running it on a 2-stroke mix, but I think that probably wasn't helping much, because when I took the head off, the exhaust valve was really black, like gummed up. So I'm running it on MX9, which is like a really high grade oil. You know, it's a bit overkill, this engine, but I'm thinking of running it on some caster because I like the smell of it. But for this little video, we'll see if we can start it up on MX9. So we've got the fuel. I think I'll just clamp it to the bench. It's not like, we don't really need to do this, but let's see. Get it around a bit like that so you can see the clutch. This poor old table. Okay, so now I'm using a Lifey battery 2000. These are brilliant. They just seem to stay charged forever. You know, you don't seem to have to charge them up. So we'll connect that up to my battery in the ignition. We'll connect it up to the whole sensor, which is there. Hopefully that should be a light. Yes, we're alight. So we'll stick the spark plug on. And what I normally do is open the throttle, give it a couple of little chokes, and then put it back. And of course, it don't want to start. Let's give it another go. Oh, okay, that was my clamp just fell off. Anyway, clutch is running. It will run really slow. That's a lovely little thing. But if you see now, I can hold that clutch and it's just freewheeling. If I give it a little bit of throttle, see it spinning, and I can feel it, it's just coming in now. And if I put the throttle up a little bit more, now you can't stop that. You know, that's kind of drifted really well. If I really press it hard, it'll just about to stop, but the engine's keeping on low. The rest are coming up, what have we got on here? 5,000. Still go more than that if I leave it out, but so that is, you know, I think that's going to be good. If I leave it out a little bit, you can hear it. There you go. It's like a runaway diesel. You know, that's really pulling now. And now it's freewheeling. So, you know, I'm hoping that the boat can kind of it can sit in the water ticking over like that, and then I can rev it, and it's going to sort of pull away really slowly, but it's just starting to grip now, and then that's got full. So when she comes down and tick over, it's just sitting there. So the kind of clutch is working really well. What I've got to do now is get it back in the boat again, and I really want to lighten the boat. That's it, I'll get this down slow. So, yeah, sorry for shouting, but it's quite noisy. Yes, so I'm hoping to get this back in the boat. I want to lose some weight. The top of the deck is very heavy, and it lifts sort of over one way. It's a very narrow boat. It hasn't got like a lot of beam, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking of kind of trying to, you know, even just sort of I can hollow out some of the wood, because I don't know what it's made of, but it's like 10 mil thick, that hole. And when I go around the bottom way, it's like sort of fiberglass, and there's wood. It's like it's been hollowed out of a tree or something. It is a, you know, a really heavy old thing, but when it's all together it looks absolutely lovely, and I think this engine would sort of fit it perfectly. You know, it's got such a character on it, and if it's burning kind of caster oil, that would be even better. But I believe now that because I've left the valves in and we've got like good compression, the way it's sitting there ticking over, you know, and everything's running nice and true, I believe it might be a different animal to what I had in there before. So with that, guys, I'm gonna sign out, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one, where I'm going to do a little bit of my Lossy Promo motorcycle with the Vitabon wheels and tyres and everything like that, and how you glue them on. There's kind of a proper saga. I've glued them on. It took me, you got to spend some time on them, you know. It took me a long time, but I can give you all the proper glue, what you should be using, the best way to glue them on, you know, and don't make a mess, and so they stay on. I was supposed to go out today with it, but I've been let down with my cameraman, so you know, I thought I'd do a little video on this engine because I'm quite pleased with how it's running. So okay guys, I'll see you in the next video.